18th century. Early beginnings, bare-knuckle boxing. The 18th century marked the early beginnings of modern boxing, often referred to as bare-knuckle boxing. This period saw fights without gloves, with minimal rules, and bouts continuing until one fighter could no longer continue. James Figg, regarded as the first boxing champion, James Figg established the first recognized boxing school in England in 1719. He was instrumental in promoting boxing as a sport. Rules and regulations, Broughton Rules, introduced by Jack Broughton in 1743, these were the first set of formal boxing rules. They aimed to reduce the brutality of the sport, including the introduction of a 30-second count if a fighter was knocked down and the banning of certain dangerous moves. Public interest, spectator sport, boxing began to attract public interest and became a popular spectator sport. Fights were often held in public venues and attracted large crowds, including members of the aristocracy. Betting on boxing matches became common, adding a financial dimension to the sport and further increasing its popularity. 19th century. Evolution of rules, London prize ring rules. In 1838, the London prize ring rules were established, replacing the Broughton rules. These new rules introduced the concept of rounds and specified the dimensions of the ring. They also banned certain practices such as head-butting and hitting a man while he was down. Queensberry Rules, introduced in 1867, these rules revolutionized boxing by mandating the use of gloves, establishing timed rounds, and introducing a 10-second count for knockdowns. These rules laid the foundation for modern boxing as we know it today. Boxing as a profession, professionalization. The 19th century saw the emergence of professional boxing. Fighters began to train full-time, and boxing matches were organized as professional events with significant purses for the winners. Promoters and managers. The rise of promoters and managers helped organize fights, negotiate purses, and build the careers of boxers. This period also saw the beginning of structured promotion and marketing of boxing events. Cultural and social impact. Working class sport. Boxing became closely associated with the working class, providing an avenue for social mobility. Successful boxers often rose from humble beginnings to achieve fame and fortune. International spread. The sport spread beyond England, gaining popularity in the United States and other countries. This international expansion set the stage for global boxing competitions and the establishment of world champions. Notable figures: John L. Sullivan, known as the Boston Strong Boy. Sullivan was one of the first American boxing champions and a key figure in the transition from bare-knuckle to gloved boxing under the Queensberry Rules. Tom Molyneux, an African-American boxer who gained fame in the early 19th century. Molyneux's career highlighted the racial dynamics of the sport and the challenges faced by black athletes in the era. Early 20th century 1900 to 1950. Golden Age of Boxing, Rise of Icons. The early 20th century saw the emergence of iconic boxers like Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, and Joe Louis, who became household names and brought widespread attention to the sport. Cultural impact. Boxing played a significant role in popular culture, with champions often becoming symbols of national pride and resilience. The sport's popularity was further boosted by its depiction in literature and film. Advancements in technique and training. Scientific boxing. This era saw the refinement of boxing techniques, with a greater emphasis on footwork, defense, and strategic planning. Trainers and fighters began to adopt more scientific approaches to training and preparation. Training facilities. The establishment of dedicated training facilities and gyms helped professionalize the sport, allowing fighters to train year-round and under more controlled conditions. Racial barriers and milestones. Jack Johnson, As the first African-American world heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson faced significant racial prejudice but broke barriers and paved the way for future black athletes in the sport. Joe Louis, known as the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis was a dominant figure in boxing and a cultural icon, particularly during World War II when he symbolized American strength and unity. Economic and promotional changes, promoters and media. Promoters like Tex Rickard and organizations like Madison Square Garden played crucial roles in organizing high-profile matches and promoting the sport. Radio broadcasts and newspaper coverage further increased boxing's visibility and fan base. Pay-per-view precursor, major boxing matches became significant events, drawing large crowds and generating substantial revenue through ticket sales and media coverage. Mid to late 20th century 1950 to 2000. Television era, TV broadcasts. The advent of television brought boxing into living rooms across the world, significantly expanding its audience. Regular broadcasts of fights helped maintain and grow the sport's popularity. Famous matches, legendary matches, such as the fight of the century between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in 1971, captivated millions of viewers and became major cultural events. Prominent boxers. Muhammad Ali, perhaps the most famous boxer of all time, Ali was not only a three-time world heavyweight champion but also a cultural and political figure known for his charisma, skill, and activism. Sugar Ray Robinson, often regarded as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in history, Robinson's career set new standards for excellence in the sport. Boxing organizations, sanctioning bodies. The establishment of organizations like the World Boxing Association (WBA), World Boxing Council (WBC), and later the International Boxing Federation (IBF) and World Boxing Organization (WBO) helped regulate the sport and create standardized championships. Weight classes. The creation and recognition of multiple weight classes allowed for more opportunities and fairer competitions among fighters of different sizes. Challenges and controversies. Safety concerns. The inherent dangers of boxing, including the risk of serious injuries and long-term health issues like chronic traumatic encephalopathy (CTE), became more widely recognized, leading to calls for improved safety measures. Corruption and scandals. Boxing faced issues with corruption, including fixed matches and unscrupulous promoters, which at times tarnished the sport's reputation. 21st century 2000 present. Modern boxing landscape. Globalization. Boxing has become a truly global sport, with champions and top contenders hailing from diverse countries around the world. Technology and training. Advances in sports science and technology have further refined training methods, injury prevention, and performance analysis, helping fighters reach new levels of athleticism. Major events and figures. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Known for his undefeated record and defensive prowess, Mayweather has been a dominant figure in modern boxing, with highly publicized bouts generating massive pay-per-view revenue. Manny Pacquiao, a multi-division champion and global icon, Pacquiao's career has been marked by numerous high-profile fights and his status as a national hero in the Philippines. Economic impact. Big money fights. Major boxing events, particularly in the heavyweight and welterweight divisions, continue to draw significant financial interest, with fights like Mayweather vs. Pacquiao and Tyson Fury vs. Deontay Wilder generating substantial revenue. Endorsements and sponsorships. Top fighters benefit from lucrative endorsement deals and sponsorships, adding to their earnings and enhancing the sport's commercial appeal. Regulation and safety. Improved standards. Continued efforts to enhance safety protocols, including better medical oversight and stricter regulations, aim to protect fighters' health and well-being. Anti-doping measures. Stricter anti-doping measures have been implemented to ensure fair competition and maintain the sport's integrity.